out today, and of course with that we'll have plenty of heat. We continue to see the heat in the forecast. There's no real change with that in the short term, but we do see some slight changes in the long range outlook. We'll look at overnight lows, daytime highs, and also check out the first hurricane of the season. We'll look at Hurricane Humberto over the open waters of the Atlantic in full weather coming up later on.
Well, the next thing I know, I see his teacher come out with her hands up like, I don't know. And I ran up to her and I said, "You don't know where my son is?" And she was like, "No, I don't know where he is." And I said, "Well, don't you think that someone needs to call 911? She was like, "Well, yeah."
That was Aja Louvier speaking to Fox 10 News yesterday after she said she went to pick up her son only to find out he had wandered onto a school bus and then dropped off more than 2 miles away. And today Fox 10 News is asking more questions about how that 5-year-old ended up on a school bus instead of in a carpool line. School officials say the teachers and the bus driver followed the rules and the protocol, but some parents at the school disagree. Fox 10 News reporter Renee Dials is live at the school with a follow-up to the story that has a lot of you talking. Renee?
Well, Bob, there are about 59,000 students in Mobile County, and thousands of them ride buses to and from school. Now, transportation officials say the bus drivers have an excellent record of keeping kids safe, but the parents I talked with today say even one incident that puts a child in potential danger is too many. And these parents were apparently the first to realize the little boy wasn't where he was supposed to be. Parents start lining up early to pick up their children from Nan Gray Davis Elementary School. But Monday, one young rider ended up on a school bus. That resulted in a frightening 2 hours for the boy's mother. The child got off the bus when the driver reached her last stop, 2.5 miles from the school.
When this little fella got off the bus, we're all of us parents are standing there like, this child doesn't belong on this bus. I mean, he stuck out.
One mother who didn't want to be identified says the parents also realized there was no one at the stop for the child.
Well, we all turned around and looked. About that time, the bus driver's already gone.
It's easy to see how dangerous this situation could have been. This is where the Spanish Oak kids get off on the last stop of what they call the red bus. On this side is a 5-lane highway. The complex where the child ended up is all the way at the end of this road. If it hadn't been for the parents who were here for their children, that little boy could have ended up anywhere.
So the little fella, we don't leave him alone, we walk him with us. When he gets here, we ask him, "Where's your mommy?"
While management and security tried to determine if the child lived in the complex, police showed up and returned the boy safely to the school. This is what school spokesperson Nancy Pierce said about the school's handling of the incident.
They follow the rules and the protocol that they have, and
Did they really follow? It doesn't
Sure.
sound like they did.
Sure, they did. They walked the children in the cart line. They all walked in that line. The bus riders walked in their line. This child walked over to the bus line and got on a bus.
Today, I talked to the director of the transportation department. Pat Mitchell says the driver is not to blame for what happened.
Are you telling me that your bus driver did what she was supposed to do? How did the child get on the bus or off the bus at this site?
I think at the time that it was known to us, transportation, that the child was not to be on the bus. The bus driver had offloaded her children. So that's how the child originally ended up at the apartment complex, because the child got off with other students. And so at that point, the driver wouldn't have known that that child did not belong on a bus. It was afterwards that the bus driver was alerted that she had an unauthorized passenger.
But parents say both the school and the bus driver acted irresponsibly, especially since it was a special needs child.
The boys shouldn't have left the teacher's side anyways.
Because if they'd have followed protocol, that baby would have never been on that bus.
Now, interestingly, every parent that I talk with say they feel the bus driver should have at least inquired about the unfamiliar student on her bus. If not at the school, they think she should have made sure that there was someone to meet the child when he got off the bus. Now, this is a copy of the bus driver's handbook. I copied it from the school system's website. On page 6, it says that every student should be assigned a seat by the driver, and the driver should have a seating roster on the bus at all times. Now, Pat Mitchell says he has talked with his staff about this situation, and they are looking at suggestions that might prevent it from happening in the future. I told him that I will check back with him to see what they come up with. Reporting live in Theodore, I'm Renee Dowles for Fox 10 News.
Thank you, Renee.